Hey everyone, so back to TradPro, another week, another episode, and I apologize for not getting this to you on Monday. I have been under the weather this week and it's just been a rough week. So probably be some kid noises in the background, it's whatever. I'm just trying to get this done so that I can get you something this week, some thoughts. And gosh, it's been a big week with the election yesterday, with just so much going on in the news and the world in general, and in people's personal lives too, with food insecurity, with just, job insecurity. A lot of things are happening. So I just wanted to kind of tune in with some of that, and then a little bit of like a lighthearted commentary on dating in 2025, just dating apps and stuff. So to start it off, what were your wins yesterday for the election? Did you have any, big moments that came through, like big candidates or successes in the elections? I want to hear about it, whether on the local level or state, or, like what really happened for you. Or did you just like sit this one out and not vote and don't care anymore about politics? I'm hearing both. Like, I'm hearing people that are super enthused and plugged in and watching all the numbers and, really getting excited about their candidates that they voted for winning, or upset if their candidate didn't win. And then I'm also hearing people just like, I just didn't even vote and I don't want to vote. And that part I don't understand, because it's really not that big of an effort, especially if you're in Arizona or a state that still does the mail-in ballots or early voting. Like, you literally can do it in the comfort of your home and mail it in. It's just not a difficult process. So like with a little bit of research, you can choose candidates and have some confidence behind your choices. And I just think that while people might be disillusioned about politics, there is still a difference between candidates. So, if you're not voting, then you are participating by that lack of action. It's not like you're not participating, you're still participating, because if all the people that didn't vote would have voted in a different direction than the person that won, of course, the election would have been potentially switched. So all of these outcomes that people are experiencing right now, whether it's jobs or healthcare or food or just mental health, with global issues happening, and, it's a lot to juggle. And I think that it just feels good to do your part as, a traditional values person in terms of family. You want your kids to have the best possible future. So your vote or lack of vote is directly plugging into the outcomes for their future. And I get it, why people might think like, oh, it's kind of a lost cause, like the two parties and all candidates are just the same, blah, 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 because nothing ever changes. Well, things do change. And even though there's not always a big, drastic, shocking, earth-shaking change, things can change by small degrees. And over time, that change can make a big difference. There are differences happening right now literally because of who was elected, not just at the president level, but the city level, your city council, your school board members, the mayor, the chief of police, which usually the mayor picks, depending on the city structure. And then, the sheriff. There's just so many different offices that I think, Congress, of course, the governor's race. Throughout the year, like, we have the chance to vote for change. But if we're too impatient and we're expecting change to just happen lickety split, and, as soon as a person steps into office, things take longer than that. As somebody who spent a lot of time working on changing the system in different ways, I know that it's not easy. It's also not quick. So but it does matter who's in there. It really does. Um, that's my opinion, of course. I am not God, I don't know all things or whatever, but I have seen real change happen. And I think everybody right now can say they are seeing real change happen in terms of people's daily lives because of who was or wasn't elected. Um, so yeah, vote, please. But of course, don't just like scribble something in. Just do like a little bit of homework. Or if you have somebody who you're super politically aligned with and you haven't had time to do your homework, ask them for a few reasons why they voted the way they did. See if those reasons make sense. Ideally you vote from your own values and your own views, but if you feel confident in your spouse's research or a close friend, or in their vote, you have confidence in the way they're voting, that is one way to kind of have a shortcut. But yeah, I mean, you can quickly and easily research nowadays. We don't have encyclopedias. We don't have like time-consuming processes for this. If you have time to watch a show after work or read a book or, cook a big dinner, whatever it is, like you have time to do a little research. It's only once in a while that we get to vote. It's not every day. It's not every week. It's not even every month. So please vote. And thank you for voting, for those of you who did vote, because it is super important and you did your part. And so then you have peace of mind. Like it's kind of like, I don't want to say it's like health insurance, but kind of, like sometimes you get insurance because then it's peace of mind that if something happens, like you did what you could. And when you vote, you know that you did what you could. And if it doesn't go the way that you voted, at least you tried and you cast your vote, right? And if it does go your way, then you're part of that win. So, yeah, it's just, it's so interesting to me how many people get so locked into sporting events and don't pay attention to politics, or talk a whole bunch about politics but never vote, or whatever. It's just kind of an interesting scene out there right now. So the election. And then I've heard a lot of things about SNAP benefits being cut, of course, impacting people, food banks just going crazy with need. I'm really happy that here in Arizona, Southern Arizona, I'm part of I chair a garden that grows food to donate to people. Specifically, all of the food is donated. None of the produce is used by by my committee or anybody that works in the garden. So we actually have already we've exceeded 4,000 pounds this year of produce donated. And that's like a miracle because it's the desert and it is a challenge to grow fruit and vegetables here. But we are growing nutrient dense food, like really good, healthy, delicious produce for youth and young families who are experiencing food insecurity. And I'm really proud to be putting my gardening skills into that effort. And I know that there's so many people out there doing good work in food banks, food pantries, even at stoplights, whatever, like making sure people have food, helping your neighbors, like helping your friends, helping your family members, extended family members or whatever. There's so many people that are reaching out and all of it counts. Everything counts. Just if you help one person, that counts, right? So don't be so overwhelmed that it leads to inaction. Don't get so buried by the heaviness of the issues that you do nothing. Everything you do counts. So if you give somebody $5, that counts. If you cash up somebody, just every little thing counts. So please do something, if you can. And if you can't give, like if you don't have anything literally to give, you have nothing, and you're going into a deficit and you need help, ask for it. Like, don't let your ego or pride get in the way. Like reach out to a friend or family member in the traditional family values community, whether it's TradPro, TradCon, hopefully there's a community that you feel like you can reach out to. whether it's, you know, maybe you can't ask your friends or family, but there is a community organization that you would feel more anonymous or whatever, going to just make sure you take care of the babies, make sure they're fed, make sure you are fed, because if you're not healthy and well, you can't take care of your kids either. So, and you can't do your job, and like everything starts to fall apart. So take care of your health, make sure you have nutritious food. Don't eat crap and get sick, you know, if you can have access to food. So yeah, that's just like a big thing that's going on right now. I know that there's a lot of talk about whether it's the situation in Israel and Gaza, the Nigerian foreign affairs situation with what Trump has said. There's so many things happening globally. There's also a lot happening in our country. So whether it's tariffs, whether it's small businesses, big corporations cleaning house, you know, small businesses struggling. Just, I mean, there's just so much going on. So do your part, do what you can, vote, give food if you can, receive help if you need it. And yeah, I think that we just need to support each other. So that little piece. And then of course, on my little light note ending here, so everybody knows some people are like, that wasn't even a relationship if you were just dating somebody for like 3.5 months. To me, it's like, yeah, it is, because I am going to be locked in, monogamous, giving my all during the time I'm with somebody. I don't entertain multiple people at the same time, because that doesn't give any of those people a fair chance in my mind. That's my process with a traditional progressive view, like as the more submissive female feminine role. I want to make sure that I give my partner, whether it's a dominant like a masculine girl, a dominant woman, or a dominant man, whoever I'm dating, like I want that person to have a chance to lead. And that person will not have a chance to lead if you're trying to recruit, you know, and juggle multiple leaders or whatever. It just doesn't work. So give your singular attention to somebody who captures your attention is my advice on that. And yeah, there's a lot of just craziness in the dating apps and dating world. I know a lot of people are pretending to be me on dating apps, and that gets weird. And people are like, why didn't you show up to the date? And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. You know, you were completely catfished by somebody who's using my pictures. So yeah, check people out, you know, hopefully like FaceTime with them or something before you go to a date. Just make sure they're like a real person and not some that, you know, just don't waste your time. Like guard your time, guard your energy. And also when it comes to that, like I would say give people like a little bit of grace, because judging everybody in a blanket situation is also kind of off-putting. I've seen a lot of things, especially with men on their dating profiles, saying like, if you're not, you know, if you just want to talk, you know, if you're not going to meet on day one, then I don't want to have anything to do with you, or if like kind of like a very oppositional or kind of off-putting tone to the profile or the bio. That if you had a bad experience with somebody, don't put that on everybody else, because people who actually have a big heart and who are genuine and who do want a real experience are going to kind of fall back if they see that, because it kind of reads as like an attack on everybody. And also for like, if you're a cis man and you're trying, you know, you're in a straight sexual orientation, you want to find a female, and you're saying to everybody like, you don't want to talk, you want to just meet up, and you know, why can't we just, you know, do this and that and whatever. Women, rightly so, should be a little cautious. And so like, we're gonna need a few conversations. Like if you don't want to go out with somebody who doesn't even vet you at all, like just shows up and doesn't even know if you're a real person. I mean, I don't understand like why that's attractive. A woman should need to know like just the basics of who you are and whether or not there's potential there. Sure, like you don't need to be a pen pal forever, and you don't need to like text for days and weeks and months, and certainly not years, probably, hopefully. I don't even think months are necessary. Probably just days, not even maybe weeks, but in a few short conversations over text or a phone call or FaceTime, you should be able to kind of suss out like what this person brings to the table and what they're looking for, and if you're really that. And don't like get greedy and want to just hook up with somebody and if you're really not going to be what they need and they're not what you need. So I don't know. I think that there's just a lot of double standards kind of going on, like people saying don't do this and this and this. Well, what are you doing? Like, what are you bringing to the table? Are you giving somebody the opportunity to feel comfortable and safe and want to be with somebody who's real and genuine and actually like smart and not just showing up for every single date for every single man? Like, who wants that? I mean, that's not really indicative of quality and a woman who knows her worth. So kind of, like today there's just not a lot of patience. I get it. Like, life is busy and life is short and you kind of feel like, oh shit, like I just need to find somebody yesterday. And where's my person? It's complicated work. It takes time. And that's why I really recommend like sort through, do what you need to do to kind of like find a person that you want to give them you want them to have a chance. You want to give your connection a chance, and just like let that breathe and let that have time. And then if it's not for you and you have a mismatch of needs, or there's just not that like lasting connection, then that's fine. Like, you can acknowledge that and separate and move on. But yeah, just jumping into bed with anybody and everybody, or jumping into dates even with anybody and everybody, or even jumping on FaceTime like with just anybody, like, preserve and protect your energy and your time, and don't just give it to just anyone. Like, there's a lot that you can tell in just how somebody writes their profile, what kind of pictures they include. Yeah, so, and when it comes to, I know like I actually have a profile right now, and like with that, I have a lot of different hairstyles, just because in October I changed my hair a lot because I did a lot of different costumes, like for spooky season and everything, and I had like a different hairstyle for every single costume, almost like one a week in October. So don't just make assumptions like, oh, this person has long hair and short hair and whatever, and so these are old pictures, or just like don't put all of your prejudices that were based on bad experiences on the next girl or woman, because maybe that's not what she's up to. Like, maybe there's a good reason why the pictures that she chose are the ones she chose, and maybe they are like super recent. So yeah, anyway, just check yourself a little bit, guys, girls, anyone in between. Like, just kind of like say like, okay, am I doing something that would be super annoying if somebody did that to me? Or do I want that kind of like aggressive oppositional energy, and I want to attract drama and kind of contention and whatever, confrontation into my life, because that's kind of like what that kind of a tone sets. Just be open-hearted, and you'll attract somebody with an open heart. And if you don't find your person, it's okay, because you are also your person. And yeah, we all want to find that like one true love. I want to find it. I haven't found it yet. That would be amazing. That would be awesome. But if it doesn't come in this lifetime, like, I'm not going to feel like my life was a failure, or like everything is wrong with the world, because there's a lot of great things that you can do for yourself, with yourself, and by yourself for that matter. And also just feed your spirit, nurture your body, mind, and heart. And then also like just kind of think about how to stay ready for that person. And a lot of staying ready for someone else is just being present with yourself and with those who you love, your friends, your family, your kids, if you have kids. Yeah, so carving out a little bit of time to search and kind of just cast a net, see if anybody's out there. Read a few profiles, just see what's going on Facebook dating or whatever app you want to look up. I don't advise paying a bunch of money for things because I don't think that there's a higher degree of success for like it's just lunch or any of that stuff, like versus just Facebook dating. I've actually had worse luck with it's just lunch sucked, honestly. I actually tried that because I thought it would be good given my name recognition and stuff. I thought, okay, if people are pretending to be me on apps and I can't even really have a real profile in an app, maybe I should get a matchmaker and like a professional, and that would work. And it was just a big waste of money to like, why did I sacrifice that money and time to try and do that? Well, because I was hopeful, right? And it probably was worth it just because now I know that there's not some golden opportunity that I'm not seeking out, that I'm not letting myself have because I didn't try that. So sometimes because you try something and it flops, you can tell other people like, hey, that's not worth it. But also you can tell yourself, like, give yourself grace. Yeah, that money, I'm not going to say it was well spent, but I'm also, like it wasn't a total waste because I did learn that wasn't necessarily any more helpful than anything else. So anyways, yeah, dating is rough. And everybody's like, there's pee in the dating pool, which I don't even know really what that means other than it's complicated and it sucks. But hey, it doesn't have to suck. You can also, explore, enjoy that journey of exploration and searching and fine-tuning what you really want, fine-tuning your bio to attract the right kind of person as well. So yeah, those are my little thoughts. And yeah, there's just so much going on with the world. So I hope that everybody on here is taking care, all my subscribers and anybody that watches this, like, take care of yourself and give yourself like a dinner date or something special just for you, spa day, something, and if you can't afford one, just like get some dish detergent and run a bath and make a bubble bath. Like there's always something you can do to like find, like use what you have. Get creative and don't just think like, I don't have any options. Like we all have options because we're alive and we have, if you've got 10 toes and 10 fingers and, a heartbeat and whatever, there's always something that can be done. It just takes energy and effort and that excitement about the future. So stay hopeful and stay trad and stay pro, traditional progressive, and I will see you next week.